Here is one bold prediction and maybe slightly delusional take for every NFL team this season.
For the Buffalo Bills, we think that after Josh Allen saw his wife, Haley Seinfeld, in the new movie Sinners, he is going to have a career best year with the Buffalo Bills this season.
Next up for the Miami Dolphins, we don't think the Dolphins are going to do too hot this year. They're going to miss out on the playoffs, and Mike McDaniels will actually get fired this year.
For my New England Patriots, I think Mike Vrabel will be coach of the year because it is Drake May's year and he will come back. We've had an amazing draft and it is our year and it will be his time to show off his greatness this year.
For the New York Jets, we think that star cornerback Sauce Gardner will have 0 interceptions for the entire year. We know that, he kind of aura farms in defending and he's kind of getting, clipped on Twitter for that. So we think that he might have a pretty poor year here and finish off with 0 interceptions.
Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we think that Aaron Rodgers will actually retire before the end of the season. And on top of that, we think that he will actually announce that he's running for president in 2028, and he's going to be representing Elon Musk's new political party.
For the Baltimore Ravens, they are kind of known now for losing in the playoffs in very goofy fashion every single year, and we think that's going to be the same this year. What we project is that in this year's AFC Championship game is going to come down to a last-minute field goal for the Ravens with a chance to win the game, and the kicker will miss it. And this is going to cause Donald J. Trump, the current president of the United States, to hop on the brilliant Truth social media app and tweet out about how he thinks that Justin Tucker would have made that kick and the Ravens would have been in the Super Bowl had the woke liberal media not canceled him. Lock it in.
For the Cincinnati Bengals, we think Joe Burrow will once again go down with a season-ending injury by week 8 because of an awful O-line. And we also think that the Bengals will once again miss the playoffs because of how awful they're going to perform in the beginning of the season.
For the Cleveland Browns, we project them to have over 3.5 starting QBs throughout the season. Shadur all the way.
For the Houston Texans, we think Nico Collins will finish top 3 in receptions and receiving yards. Because of the major injury to Tank Dell, we think that he will come in clutch for the Texans and lead them to the promised land.
Jacksonville. The community. Duval. We think that your Jacksonville Jaguars are going to have a top 10 offense this year off the backs of brand new head coach Liam Cohen and his offensive genius. And we think that Trevor Lawrence will be very solid and be able to lead this Jaguars offense to a very strong passing game, especially with the receiving core with Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter filling in the receiving game. We think it's going to be one of the better offenses in the NFL, and we actually think that the Jacksonville Jaguars will sneak into the playoffs this year.
For the Tennessee Titans, they've got their man, Cam Ward, number 1 draft pick, and we agree with Cam Ward that they have the best receiving core in the league. I mean, we think Calvin Ridley, will have a 1,200-yard plus season as well as 9 touchdowns, over 9 touchdowns.
For the Indianapolis Colts this year, we think that they will be moving on from Anthony Richardson because of his awful season this year and that he will become a new XFL MVP with the St. Louis Battlehawks in the next coming years. Watch out, guys, because he's coming on the rise.
For the Kansas City Chiefs, we project that Taylor Swift will break up with Travis Kelce right before the release of her new album. It's going to be huge. It's going to be all in the media. And we think this will cause Travis Kelce to go demon time on the league this year. And he will return to form and become the second best tight end in the NFL.
Next up, we have the Los Angeles Chargers. This is 2025. A lot of jobs are being taken over by AI. And we think Chargers fans will be phased out by AI before week 6.
We think for the Denver Broncos that in their stadium there will be a brand new record of a 70-yard plus field goal in the conclusion of Cam Little's 70-yard kick in the preseason. We think that someone will break it in this year's NFL season.
For the Las Vegas Raiders, we think that wide receivers Jacoby Myers and rookie Jack Beck will be very underrated, and I would say sleeper, no pun intended, players in fantasy football this year. We think this because while the Raiders are probably going to be very run heavy, especially with Pete Carroll there as head coach, they do have Chip Kelly at OC, And we think there's going to be a lot of play action and a lot of deep shots from new quarterback Geno Smith. A lot of volume for those guys.
For the Washington Commanders, we think that Jaden Daniels will have a sophomore year slump and the Commanders will actually miss the playoffs. And on top of that, we think that at the end of the season, after the playoff hopes are gone, Donald Trump will come out and he will actually make an executive order to rename the team back to the Redskins.
Dallas Cowboys fans, get by the fireplace, maybe grab some milk and cookies, maybe grab a blanket, because I have a story to tell you for this season. Jerry Jones, the very well-respected owner and GM of the Dallas Cowboys, will step down and no longer be the GM or be in control of the team during the season. And this is going to cause a lot of adversity for the Cowboys, but they will rally behind it, and the Cowboys will go on a surprise run all the way to the Super Bowl. Now, here's where things get crazy. In the Super Bowl, they will be losing 24-20 with 5-ish seconds remaining. We'll leave that one up to mystery. But the Cowboys are going to have a Hail Mary attempt to win the game. Dak Prescott will fire the ball down the field in CeeDee Lamb's direction, but it will be a little bit short of the end zone. All of a sudden, though, a mysterious force will lift the ball up into CeeDee Lamb's arms, and he will cradle the ball and score the game-winning touchdown, and the Cowboys will win their 6th Super Bowl. Lock it in.
Our prediction this year for the Philadelphia Eagles is that Jalen Hurts will become the NFL MVP. The reason why is that Saquon Barkley, teams will consistently try to stop him, and that will cause him to pass the ball a shit ton. With their new additions at wide receivers and their already good wide receiving core, we think that this will cause him to have great numbers and great success in the passing game with the tush push.
Next up, we have the New York Giants, and we think Jackson Dart will show up to at least one press conference dressed as Anakin Skywalker. He's not the chosen one, let's just say that.
This year for the Minnesota Vikings, we think that even though it's his first year starting, that J.J. McCarthy will be buns. The Minnesota Vikings will move on from him for the first year at the end of the season. And we also think that Anthony Richardson, you better watch out in that XFL MVP conversation because J.J. McCarthy's coming for that.
For the Chicago Bears, they've completely revamped their roster in this offseason. They've gotten Ben Johnson from the Lions. They got a new receiver in Luther Burden III. They've completely revamped their O-line to be a top 4 O-line in the league. And we think, Caleb Williams is balling out in preseason. He's looking good. He's looking strong. And we think that the Bears will see massive improvement and they will finish the season 7-10.
For the Green Bay Packers, we think that first-round pick and rookie wide receiver Matthew Golden will lead the team in receiving yards this year. The Packers' receiving situation was pretty poor last year, and with a lot of injuries going into this season, I think it leaves a very clear opportunity for Matthew Golden to be that guy in the Packers' receiving game.
Our prediction this year for the Detroit Lions is that Aiden Hutchinson will be comeback player of the year. Based on his last year performances, dude was balling out before he got injured. But this year, we think he can continue that trend, and hopefully we'll see a comeback player, maybe defensive player of the year. Who knows?
For the Atlanta Falcons, we're doing a little bit of a throwback here, a little meta prediction, if you will, because in a previous part, we mentioned that we think Travis Kelce will be the second best tight end in the NFL this year. That's because, guess what? Kyle Pitts will be the unanimous number 1 tight end in all of football after this season. He's going to go crazy with Michael Penix Jr. So fantasy owners, if he falls to you, I would say take him maybe first, maybe early second round, because he is going to be a league winner.
Next up for the Carolina Panthers, inflation prices are through the roof. Tariffs are being imposed left and right, and we think that the Carolina Panthers ticket prices are going to get affected. They're actually going to skyrocket from a whopping $4 to absolutely astronomically $5 ticket prices. Scalpers, be ready, because buy low, sell high.
Our prediction this year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is that Baker Mayfield will be a dark horse MVP candidate. The reason why is that Mike Evans will get that 1,000-yard season. damn well he'll get that. And with recent additions in the draft, we think that they've just bolstered up their offense even more. And we think that this year will be his year for that NFL MVP.
For the New Orleans Saints, we think that they will have the worst quarterback situation in the NFL this year with Tyler Show and Spencer Rattler. What the hell is that? And we think that the Saints will actually go 2-15 and have the worst record in the league.
First off, we have the Arizona Cardinals. My team. I love these guys. And we think that Will Johnson, the second round pick from Michigan, aka Swiss cheese knees, will finish as the defensive rookie of the year. He's been locking up Marv, aka the next Larry. I mean, he's been cooking everybody. So we think that he will finish as a defensive rookie of the year.
For the San Francisco 49ers, our prediction is that CMC will have a bounce back year and that he will finish top 5 in RBs for fantasy, and that he will finish top 5 in receiving yards and touchdowns, and that those ankles will finally work.
For the Los Angeles Rams, we think that Matthew Stafford, who is currently having a lot of back problems, will continue to see those struggle and will have his back blown out before the start of the season, causing Jimmy G to become the starting quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams, and he will be one of the quarterbacks of all time. He will start the season with the Rams and will end the year at Raising Cane's.
And finally, for the Seattle Seahawks, bear with me on this one because this is a little crazy, but we think there will be a super villain attack at Lumen Field, and local vigilante Phoenix Jones will come and save the day. Not the hero we deserved, but the hero that we needed. I mean, this might not be, to be honest, this isn't the worst thing that happened in Seattle. They should have ran the ball